introduction. Good evening, everybody. I'm sure you must have read that I'm here as a poet, and I thought it would be best to start speaking with the poetry and actually welcome you all here. This poem was written as a tribute to the people who had been away during COVID from their homes, and then as a welcome back to their homes. And I chose this poem because I felt like you will relate to this when I read this. So it's called Welcome Home. Welcome home, to the old and the new, to gold and rusted blues, to process the process of adapting back to your original habitat and creating new rules. Welcome home. Your folks have become older and your dreams have become bolder. Your trees have outgrown you and your pets have found a new soothe. A heavy burden on your breath, your emotions are always in constant unrest. The country song resumes, the neighbor's curiosity booms. A shift of worlds, urban to rural, globalized to localized, inside your rooms, you spoon, fume, broom, zoom. Reborn from the womb, you bloom. Welcome to the home of acceptance, of unconditional love, and the final absence of pretendence. Welcome to the end of all your battles fought, to the home you thought you had lost. Your inner child is no longer in a constant doom. You had never thought you will be back so soon. Yet, what is soon? Once your work resumes, it's robotic and chaotic, trafficked and barbaric. Once your work resumes, you will be back to the schedules of planning months of work and travel strategy, forgetting the simplicity in reality, that time waits for none, not even for the arrogant ones. Great losses would have come if you wouldn't have returned. Time waits for none. And time has decided to become even more stubborn, yet you have nothing to worry about, because you are waiting for the opportune time, for the opportune point in the story. While time is running out and people are dying all about, you are loved. Welcome home, your safe haven, your bunker of luxury, foods, dreams, and laughter, a place you'd always return to ever after. Piano concerts, wholesome friends, and unmatched opportunities. Staying at Ish has given us so much to hold on to. I have often been invited to give guest lectures on creative industries, but this is the first time I have been invited to talk about myself. And I would not be standing here if it wouldn't be for International Student House. As we gathered here today, holding in our hearts our image as international students, we have become international personalities. Hailing from a small town in India, I stand before you as a global talent recipient from the Arts Council England. Ish inspired me to dream bigger, with a kinder heart and an expansive mind. Surrounded by scholars, philanthropists, and sportsmanship at Ish, I started nurturing my own ambition, all the while working very hard to ensure that I make the best of the opportunity that I've got. Even then, I wanted to heal, normalize supporting art, and write all my life. Volunteering at art galleries and museums in London, now I have my own art collection with an online website. I'm not an artist, but it's the other artists that I work with. I work at Nehru Centre, the cultural wing of High Commission of India, and I proudly call myself a cultural manager. As a student here, I was contributing my poems weekly to international publications, and now I'm the author of 3 books and counting. Coincidentally, my 4th book is coming up, and I hope you'll all have a link of this in the thank you email, so you'll get to hear a lot of my poems. Dedicatedly practicing yoga with my roommate at ISH, I have now been able to do my certificate courses in India, and I'm a yoga wellness instructor. So it's been a long journey, and I dive deep into my passions, and I've been swimming all the way through a hot summer day, and it hasn't been an easy swim. So how did I reach here? I stumbled, bruised, and had to accept some hard realities. After I went back to India in 2016, I worked with a museum, Mumbai City Museum, and a heritage organization. And for one person, I did the job of 4 people. That 1 year taught me as much as 10 years could ever teach me, and I couldn't have asked for a better space to challenge myself. I believe the 20s are for taking risks, so I took the risk. I took a breather, took some space from my job, traveled to Goa, took a dance teaching assignment in Mumbai for a school's annual function, and soon after found myself working in one of the biggest production houses in Mumbai, Phantom Films Private Limited. After all, Bollywood had to come in the city of dreams. Then running through film schedules, contracts and rehearsals, I jumped from production to script reading, script writing, acting, voiceover. This is something I am proud of and I will really cherish. I acted in a feature film and in a celebrated Mumbai theatre, as well as lent my voice to the main character for 13 episodes cartoon series. As I gave guest lectures and continue to manage a private art collection and write, I realized that writing is one thing that has struck with me all through my life. For almost 20 years, I had been writing poetry. I realized almost 10 years and I've been managing an art collection. And almost 13 years that I've been living a yogic life. The rest, as they say, is history. When I was getting closer to my goals with every passing day, everyone told me that I needed to choose one thing. They spoke of confusion and I was getting lost. But the truth is that all this while, I was getting found by myself. I was finding myself. Every time I reflected and something just didn't feel right, I moved on. Every time I reflected and realized that this is not something that I can imagine myself doing for at least for the next 10 years of my life, I moved on. Every time I came back and I listened to this beating heart and inner voice, I believed in myself with all my strength and worked at what I wanted day and night. Living with my parents during COVID in a small town in Gwalior, publishing books, teaching poetry and yoga, and speaking on radios in Washington and Amsterdam, a global talent was born. A global talent who would not be standing here if it weren't for being an international student here first. I hope tonight inspired you to be yourself. If living in the post-COVID world means second chances, then this is your sign. If you haven't yet, then start living your best life. Thank you, and I hope you have a lovely evening. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And wait for your third life. It's going to come. I think, isn't this marvellous? We've got just 2 wonderful speakers